Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shaylene, and if you're a subscriber, this space might look a little different for you. And if you're new here, welcome. What you're seeing behind me is a completely new space that I just completely transformed. This was a dining room. Now it's my little YouTube office nook area, and I am literally obsessed with it. Before we get into the video, just a little background. I wanted a space where I could film for YouTube, edit for YouTube, work from home. I could read right here, I could craft, I could do whatever I possibly wanted. And where you're sitting is where my boyfriend works from home. So we had to create this all-inclusive little office nook in a tiny little 750 square foot apartment. If you're also living in a small space and you're also looking to upgrade your space to create a little space of your own, then I highly suggest you keep watching. I have tips and tricks in this video. And before this even begins, really, we took this to Facebook Marketplace because we are sustainable on this channel and we are trying to shop secondhand. That is where this whole journey begins. So without further ado, I say we get into the video. Morning. I am currently on my way to pick up the desks that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I ended up finding two. I'm really excited about them. I'll tell you more about them, but I'm on my way downtown to pick them up. I secured the goods. The reason we even decided on standing desks in the first place was a few reasons, really. Number one, whenever I'm doing a craft project, mostly sewing or any craft project really, I tend to overarch my back, and I actually have a bad back. Arching my back like that causes me immense back pain, and so we thought maybe I could stand up and do these craft projects. That might help me a lot. Another reason being my boyfriend works from home a lot. For him to be able to have the choice to either sit or stand is going to be very beneficial for his health. We sort of figured if we're going to be buying two desks anyways, then we might as well buy standing desks so that way we can invest in our health. Just spend the extra cash on getting something that we are going to use for a very long time. So if you can imagine, this was our dining space. We did have a dining table here that we just put in storage. This is the space we were working with to create a little office nook. It's not huge, but I think it's gonna turn out really good. We have the two desks over there. We're gonna move them over here. It's already looking so much bigger in here. I'm so excited. When looking for these standing desks on Facebook Marketplace, honestly, there was a ton of option, but some of them weren't exactly what we were looking for or exactly within the price range we were looking for. I knew I wanted a light desk, light wood, like a maple, like the one I have here, the white stand, whereas my boyfriend wanted one more masculine, maybe darker wood, dark toned. So that's kind of what I was on the hunt for, but there were a ton of options on Facebook Marketplace. I was on a budget when shopping for this, so I was trying to get the best deal. It did take me a couple days to find the ones I really wanted, but it ended up being $100 for my boyfriend's desk and $75 for mine. My boyfriend Kellen, his desk was already built by the previous owner, so that was a breeze to set up. Mine was brand new. Technically, it never had been opened out of the box. The owner couldn't even guarantee if it had worked because it had never been opened out of the box. Spoiler, thankfully everything worked just fine, but it took me like 4 hours to build this thing out. I'm also really stubborn and decided to try to build it when Kellen wasn't even home. So it took me a really long time because I was doing it myself and because I messed up at one point and had to backtrack. But nonetheless, I am still so in love with both the desks that we selected. I made sure to get sizes that were the same. So we both have desks that are 48 inches in width, so they kind of coordinate even if they aren't the same color. If you've seen any of my previous videos, then you probably know that I love shopping secondhand. I love Facebook Marketplace. I love thrifting. And so when shopping for this project, I really wanted to try to be as sustainable or eco-conscious as possible. So I really did want to buy these secondhand, and I'm so glad that we did. Facebook Marketplace is seriously such a good resource if you want to find anything. Like seriously, people are selling anything and everything. These desks, brand new on Amazon, were probably around $100 or $120. They were the exact same price, mind you. However, we are saving these from a landfill, and for that, I feel good about my purchase. We're also just giving these pieces a second life, which I'm so happy about. So I definitely recommend shopping on Facebook Marketplace. If you have never shopped on Facebook Marketplace before, there are a ton of resources here on YouTube, especially of people giving tips and tricks so you can find the best piece for your space. So this is what it's looking like with both desks in here. Not exactly sure the placement just yet, but I think it's looking really good, and I'm excited to keep building this space out. To hang the curtains up, I landed on a panel track, a ceiling panel track. You can find these on Amazon. I think the size I got was 5 feet, maybe 5.5 feet. I purchased white. Our ceilings are white. I thought it would blend in the best, but all the reviews I was seeing were mentioning that it was a little bit hard to coil out. It was pretty stubborn. It is plastic after all. So to make it a little bit easier to install, kind of heat it up to flatten it out first, and then when you go to install, it won't coil right back up. My purpose behind creating this space was really to have a separate space where I could solely focus on my craft, whether that be filming for YouTube, editing for YouTube, reading, literally crafting, sewing, using my Cricut machine, creating Christmas gifts, all of the above. There was not really a good space in our apartment to do that. I live in a tiny 750 square foot apartment. Our dining room was severely underutilized. We barely ate dinner at the dining table. We barely hosted anybody over at our apartment because our apartment's so small. We were also kind of busting at the seams when it came to storage in the first place, and so we were talking about it and we're like, you know what, let's just get a storage unit. Let's put our dining room table there. My dining room table is for my great grandma. We'll hold on to it. While we're at it, we'll put other things in storage, free up some space in our apartment, and we'll really turn this apartment into a home of our own. Sometimes renting apartments can feel like you don't want to put too much effort into things. It's only temporary, and I totally understand that feeling, but we're here for at least another year. We've signed another lease. While we're here, I want to make this space work for us. So I had a thought where maybe I should just create a barrier between the living room and the dining room. When my boyfriend is gaming or watching football or doing what he does in the living room, I can have my own little space in the dining room to do what I want to do, and I can kind of shut myself in. I am an introvert. I love anything cave-like, right? So for me to have a little nook is ideal for me. And so when I was thinking of ways that I could do this, I thought curtains were the best solution because they could easily fold to the side and they easily create privacy. I feel like a lot of you can relate to this when you're living with a friend or a partner and your space is so limited. It's hard to find space where you can just solely focus on you and what you want to be doing. And so I hope this video can be a reminder or some sort of inspiration for you to make that space your own. Thankfully, this is working for us, and now looking at it from the future, I can confidently say this is the best decision ever. I am so glad that we created this little space. It actually made the apartment feel so much bigger. We're utilizing it so much more, and it really has turned into like our personal space and our personal touch, and it feels like home. So excited because we finished putting up this like curtain panel track all around where our dining room used to be, which honestly ended up working out. We literally had just enough to make it around both of our desks with wiggle room, because essentially you are where I'm going to be filming. This is going to be my backdrop, but I don't want all of this as my backdrop here. So I wanted to put up curtains to like hide all of this. I may redecorate right here too, just to kind of make my backdrop exactly what I want for YouTube. Before we do that, we need to get curtains up. Also, please excuse my voice. I am getting over a sickness, so just bear with me there. But if you saw my last video, I went thrifting for curtains. And if you can't tell from my apartment, I like neutrals, browns, greens, anything that's like earth tones. And so that's kind of the vibe I was trying to emulate when shopping for curtains. We already owned these curtains, which are basically like a beige with a sheer fabric in front. These do have a grommet on them, which is a little bit different than most of these. And so I think it's gonna be like a Mod Podge of things, but we have two of these. These are like blackout curtains, which I think could be good for filming because the window that we have is literally directly in front of me. And so if it were to be harsh lighting, then maybe it would be good to have that as a backdrop. I don't know. We'll see. This is like a very neutral color palette as well. I found these curtains. There are two of these. I am obsessed with these. My boyfriend, not so much. To me, they're like cottagecore, very whimsical, but they're still within the color palette I was looking for. I love these prints so much. Yes, it's like busy, but I don't think it's overly busy, so we'll see. These have a cleat at the top, so there's nowhere to basically hook these in is the only thing. That's kind of what I'm worried about. I guess with this panel track, I didn't really realize, but the rollers, it comes with a hook. And so for the grommet style curtains, I think I can just put those on. But for these, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I also thrifted this, literally this massive curtain. It's more of like a deep green in person, and it's really sheer. You can see how sheer it is there. Then though, these don't have a grommet. They have a cleat style at the top. And then also thrifted these curtains, which in person are like a very pale pistachio matcha color green, but the camera just does not pick it up very well. I love it though because it's silky and it has these flowers on it. Just one, and it's not very wide. I thought it kind of added to that layered look. And then this is like a tunnel, so you can put through curtain rods. So I'm going to have to work on all of these because all of them are different. I did order something that might help. I ordered these, which I maybe could just hook through the hooks and then clip on. I hope these are strong enough. I do like the brass, but honestly the panel track came with silver hooks, but I don't know, this might just have to be how it is because I don't know what else I could do. Either that or I would have to take my sewing machine or just cut a hole in the top of each of these so that way I can hook them on. I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to make this as easy as possible and I kind of want to leave these as is. I'm gonna think about this and I will get back to you. Okay, so I hung up this curtain and look how easy it moves. This one was really easy to hang up because it had the grommets. There's 40 of those hooks up there, which if I were to do 5 curtains, then each of them would need 8 hooks, and that took 8 hooks. So I think we're off to a great start. And this is kind of what my backdrop would look like. Yeah, I think I love it. What do we think? I love it. I think I might decorate this part of the wall because this part of the wall like juts out a little bit. This is where our front door is. I think I might decorate this part of the wall so that way I kind of have like my own personal flair right here. And also right here since obviously that's showing up in video. But now it's a lot more neutral over here so we can focus on what I'm doing, like what I'm crafting, what I'm saying. This is awesome. And watch how easy it is to... Yay! For these curtains, I actually just hooked them right where there's like a little hole right here. Just hooked it in there. And honestly, that feels really secure. So I'm gonna give that a shot. So basically my idea is that when I'm in this little nook, I'm going to be seeing all this print. This is the back of this. It's just white. I mean, you can kind of see the print through it. This is what's gonna be facing basically where you are right now, the living room. So when I'm in there, we're gonna have all the curtains on the panel track. But when I'm not in there, we're just gonna push these to the side. So obviously I wanna see the pretty view. Yeah, one thing I didn't mention is all of these curtains are vastly different heights. You can see the bottom right there. I don't think it's that big of a deal personally because when I'm in there, I'm gonna be like either sewing or reading or just like crafting and just like being in my own little world. Plus, it's like his desk is gonna be blocking it. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But nonetheless, the heights are still different. I didn't realize, but the curtain panels that I have that are like cottagecore or eclectic patchwork, they're different sizes. One only required 7 hooks and the other one required 11. I have 6 more of the hooks up top. I'm thinking I can only do one of these curtains. I have to decide if I want to do this one or this one. I feel like both of them, I mean, all of them work together. Here's my issue. This curtain that I got is like double the length it needs to be, like double. I would probably have to sew for it to work. And I don't really want to bust out the sewing machine right now to do that. Whereas this one is not as tall. Like it's tall enough, but it's not where I need to be breaking out the sewing machine. So I actually think I might do this one. Okay, those are actually the same height, so that worked out. One more. Okay, yeah, I love that. Okay, so for where I'm gonna sit, this will be my view. I'm definitely gonna have to get lighting in here. We do have this overhead lighting, but for filming, I'm definitely gonna have to get lighting from inside. That's what it's looking like. For those curious, this is what the ceiling is looking like. It got a little wavy right there, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad. This is where all the curtains will live when we don't want them out. We're just gonna like put them against the wall. So we still have our whole apartment open up. Our apartment is a literal disaster. So I think I'm gonna call it for today and I will pick this up again tomorrow. Bye. Okay, it's actually been a little bit more than a day. It's been about a week since I even worked on this little room makeover over here, but I have some very exciting progress to share. The whole point of this room makeover over here is to create an office nook, somewhere for me to do YouTube, somewhere my boyfriend can work from home, somewhere I can film, all of the above. And so I was thinking about it and I'm like, listen, like I have a sewing machine, a Cricut machine, those take up a lot of space. So I kind of wanted to create like an L shape in the corner. But look what I found on Facebook Marketplace. It's this tiny little side table. I got it for $30. It's going to be the perfect size to store my Cricut machine on top or sewing machine on bottom, whatever, vice versa. So it doesn't take up all this space in my little tiny craft closet that I have. That way it's just right next to me. Anytime I want to pick those up to film, they're going to be right next to me. I think I want to rub and buff these to make them gold just because I'm not loving the silver. All 3 of these drawers work. So for now, I think I'm just going to give it a good clean because it is from Facebook Marketplace. You never know who you're buying from. Give it a good clean, put it in place. I'm just taking a washcloth with some mild dish soap and just giving that a good wash. This is why you should always wash stuff that you get. Gross. Another thing that I purchased for this room makeover were these little like curtain holes, I guess, curtain holders. I'm going to do 2 over here. One on like this far side of the wall and then one right here on this little bit of wall. And I think that'll just really help us. The nice thing is some of the curtains that we hung up came with these. I think I'll just hang them from here when I'm not using them, but I'll be able to corral the curtains together and then hopefully tie these back when I'm not using them. This is what they look like. I love the antique brass. Okay, we have a progress update. I moved it over to where it's gonna live and I put my Cricut machine on the bottom, sewing machine on top, and then in this top drawer are all the cords that I need for both sewing and my Cricut machine stored here. I have 2 extra drawers in case I want to put anything there. So I only ended up putting one of these curtain things here because the one of these corralled all of these curtains, so that actually worked good. I had to putty though because I left a huge hole in the wall. I messed up, so my boyfriend had to come help me. I think this is going to work really well. My plan with this hardware was to just do some rub and buff. I really wanted the antique brass look just because I feel like this piece looks super vintage and I thought the antique brass would be perfect with this dark color. But I just went shopping and Michael's was completely out of both the gold and the antique brass rub and buff. But not only was my local store sold out, so was every other store in a 20-mile radius. I don't know if there's just like a shortage of rub and buff right now, but I had to pivot. I'm quite determined to get this project done, at least started today and then maybe installed tomorrow, but I'm quite determined to do that. So I found this other product. It's the Craft Smart Premium Wax Metallic Finish. This is in gold. They didn't have a brass color, which I'm not loving just the idea of gold. So I got this as well, which is just like multi-surface metallic acrylic paint. This is in a deep bronze color, and I'm wondering if maybe I mix a little bit of the paint into this waxy material, rub that into the handle, then maybe I might get my desired look. We'll see. This was, I think, $7. The paint was $3, and then I also picked up some extra brushes and sponges. This pack was $2. Just got done removing all the hardware, and now I am going to see if I can make this shine like antique brass. Update, this is what they looked like when I picked it up from Facebook Marketplace. It's this silver color, but when you turn it on the back, it's actually like a gold bronzy color. You can kind of see better here. I wonder if they painted over it. I'm obsessed with the gold bronze. I'm really hoping I can get this look. Like, just comparing these two, like, this is so much better. I'll be honest, this little concoction that I created didn't work exactly like I thought it would. I don't know, I was reading the reviews of this product as well, and everybody was saying that this product required so much more literal product than Rub and Buff does. Rub and Buff requires so much less. This product requires layers and layers, and so I was trying to work with the layers, but also I wasn't loving the bright gold, and so I was trying to mix it, and I don't know, it didn't work exactly the way I wanted. I still think I'm happy with the end result, but for me to even order Rub and Buff, Amazon was going to deliver in a couple weeks, so I don't really know what the situation is with Rub and Buff. But if anybody has any other tips or recommendations when it comes to other products like Rub and Buff, please send them my way. Also, if anybody knows if these handles are actually antique brass and if there is a way to remove the paint, let me know. I can't really tell if they did paint it silver or if it came that way and maybe it's like aging on the back. I didn't want to go too deep, so I didn't want to ruin them at all, of course. So this is kind of where we're at. I left it with the gold and I'm happy with it. I'm not in love or obsessed with it, but I do like it a lot better. So please share your tips and tricks in the comments below. I'm forever grateful for you. I also ordered a very cute chair. Here is a sneak peek of it. I am obsessed. I really hope it works in this space. This is the print. I am literally obsessed with it. The instruction. When choosing a chair for this space, it was hard because, of course, I want something comfortable and ergonomic, but I'm also using the space for so many different reasons, all encompassing under one space. I wanted something that was cute for a background. I wanted something comfortable for reading. I wanted something comfortable for sitting at the desk and also sewing or typing on the computer. To get an actual office chair would have completely changed the vibe I was looking for. I wanted like a very cute grandma chic space, and so I settled on this butterfly chair, and it's comfortable. It's not the best chair for sitting at a desk, so we'll see if I regret my decision, but I do really love the chair itself. I love the print. It's super padded, and as a reading chair, it's super comfortable. I got it for $100 on Amazon. The verdict is still out on whether or not this chair is the correct chair for the space. Okay, but y'all, you can't tell me it doesn't look cute in the space. Am I right? Like, that's a cute looking chair. When it comes to decorating for this space, I really do like a maximalist, boho, mid-century modern kind of vibe. We have a lot of wood tones in our apartment, a lot of neutrals, earth tones, but I also really like feminine, more girly touches. I would classify my aesthetic or my everyday style as like cottagecore, grandmacore, granola girl, stuff like that. So I kind of want this space to really reflect that. Everything I'm decorating with for this apartment is either thrifted previously and saved because I'm low-key a hoarder when it comes to thrifting. All the art prints I'm using also came from a recent trip to Alaska, which if you have not yet watched, I'll link it above. It was the most incredible trip ever. And we decided we're going to start collecting art prints so that way we have a piece of our trip in our home. I really wanted this space to be a little bit more girly, a little bit more whimsical, fairy-like, and so I'm adding a little bit more pink or blush into this space than the rest of our apartment would normally have. So right now I'm just looking through the prints, trying to decide which prints I want on the wall that would coordinate with the other pink elements in the space. This is also going to be my backdrop for YouTube, and so I really just want a space that feels like me, that shows my personality, that shows my style right when you first click on a video. This entire project has honestly been so fun to create. I had a vision in my head, I created that vision in real life, and honestly, it turned out better than I could have even imagined. So without further ado, I think it's time you see the final results. Before we see the final results, I do just want to take it back. Let's remember what it looked like before. It was an underutilized space. It wasn't getting much attention. It needed a lot of love. Now it looks like this. It is a total transformation. I am literally in love with everything happening here. I hope you love it as much as I do because this is everything me. This is me. I blend into the background. I think my favorite part about this whole makeover is the idea of this curtain. Like right now behind me is actually our front door, but you can't tell. Like, this is amazing. It's what I dreamed up in my head and more, and I am so in love with the outcome of it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed creating this. If you like content like this, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Comment down below what your favorite part of this whole room makeover is. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I love if you would stick around. I post videos every other week, but lately it's been every week, so you get a little treat. Or if you just like seeing my face, hit that subscribe button. But if nothing else, I hope this encourages you to stay inspired, stay creative, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! It's literally so fucking cute.